Fans at the Singapore Sports Hub on Thursday were hoping that the BNP Paribas WTA Finals would serve up more excitement and drama. Serena Williams' annihilation by Simona Halep the previous day had sent shockwaves through the sport. And less than 24 hours later, the world number one was back in action, determined to avenge that defeat, her heaviest since she was 16 years old. Eugenie Bouchard was the unlucky player in the firing line and quickly succumbed to Serena's early offensive in this red group match.
Yeah, that's the exact point that Serena wants on the return. She was able to hit it deep enough to back Bouchard up about 6 feet behind the baseline where she's not as effective.
The young Canadian struggled to match her more experienced opponent as Williams flew through the opener 6-1.
That's the response we expected from Serena. She said she was humiliated.
The second set was much the same story, with Serena firmly back in business mode, in stark contrast to the Williams of Wednesday. This time it was Bouchard doing all the running as the Americans surged ahead. Bouchard was dismantled by Petra Kvitova in this year's Wimbledon final, and although she showed some resolve at 5-1 down, this was a similarly crushing defeat. Williams finished off the match in style to banish memories of that loss to Halep.
And my coach Patrick really helped me out, like really though, because I was really down and I was really out, and I honestly didn't even want to play. I thought for me, when you lose, you should be out of the tournament, and I lost, and I felt like I was out of the tournament. And you know, he was so positive, and it was really good for me to hear that, because it was the only reason I was able to play so well today.
With the top seed seemingly back to her normal self, the same can't be said for Maria Sharapova. The world number 2 went into her white group matchup with Petra Kvitova, boasting an impressive record against the Czech. Sharapova had won their previous 5 meetings and opened up an early lead over the third seed here.
What an angle from deep in the court.
However, unforced errors began to creep into the Russians' game as she relinquished that early break.
Game Kvitova.
Sharapova couldn't handle Kvitova's powerful forehand. Before long, the first set had disappeared in little over 30 minutes.
That is some powerful and accurate hitting.
Kvitova maintained her aggressive ground strokes in the second, breaking in the opening game.
Oh, she got it.
Game Kvitova.
Sharapova was clearly rattled as her 24-year-old opponent threatened to dish up a bagel.
Showing no mercy. Kvitova all over Sharapova.
The French Open champion managed to hit back and take a break of her own. But at the next time of asking, Kvitova served out the match thanks to a sumptuous cross-court winner.
Game, set, match, Kvitova.
It's Kvitova's opening win in Singapore, while 2 defeats for 2004 champion Sharapova leaves her on the brink of an early exit. Caroline Wozniacki and Agnieszka Radwanska put their friendship on hold as they look to extend their unbeaten records in the white group match. With Wozniacki overcoming Sharapova in a 3-hour marathon last time out, it was the higher-seeded Radwanska who started brighter.
Oh, that's just phenomenal.
The Pole produced a wide array of shot-making as she took the first break of serve.
That is an excellent overhead. Boy, that was a high lob.
Wozniacki soon settled, and the 8th seed replied with a break of her own. Radwanska was still providing moments of magic as the scores remained tight.
That's amazing. She's the magician.
But with breaks coming thick and fast, it was Wozniacki who had the edge as the errors crept into Radwanska's game. The second set followed a similar pattern, with Radwanska making the early running before being reeled in by her Danish opponent.
And a nice performance from Wozniacki. Good pattern to play to get herself to 3-all.
Too much wayward hitting ultimately cost the 6th seed as she went down in straight sets.
I always knew that it was going to be a tough match today. Aga's a tough player. She gets so many balls back. She has great hands and good feelings, so I knew that there would be some ridiculous shot making in there at times. So I just knew I had to try and stay aggressive, but not overly aggressive, and just be patient, really.
So Wozniacki tops the wide group and edges closer to a place in the last 4. She takes on Kvitova in her final round-robin match on Friday, while Radwanska faces Sharapova, with all 4 players still capable of qualifying. Halep is the only player guaranteed of a place in the semis, while Bouchard heads home after 3 defeats. The remaining place will be taken by either Serena or Ana Ivanovic, who needs to beat Halep in straight sets to reach the last 4. Meanwhile, in the doubles, Cara Black and Sania Mirza are into the semi-finals after they survived a dramatic encounter with American duo Raquel Kopch-Jones and Abigail Spears. Zimbabwe's Black and Indian Mirza needed 5 match points before eventually progressing. They could face top seeds Sara Errani and Roberta Vinci if the Italians can get through the last of the doubles quarter-finals on Friday.